if you use browsers, if you're creating web apps, if you are a developer, or if you just care on how browsers keep yourself safe, you should learn about the same origin policy. In very simple words, imagine you are browsing on, you have your browser open and you have like 5 tabs. One of those tabs is your banking application. That banking application might contain information about how much money you have, what are the transactions you've done, what is the last date of your transaction, etc. This is a very sensitive information that should be kept only for you, right? So you don't want other tabs from the same browser that are open to fetch information from your banking app. That would be really like a very big liability for the bank. That would be also a very big privacy breach. So in order for browsers to protect you from that happening, they apply what is an inbuilt same origin policy. What does that mean? We're going to look at some terms here. I'm not going to do all of them, but just the main ones. So we should know what origin means. So origin means is the combination of scheme, hostname, and port. So scheme is the protocol. This is the hostname, and the port number is just by default 443 when we are dealing with HTTPS websites. So that combination of the 3 of them, port, hostname, and protocol, or also known as scheme, it's called the origin. Whenever I'm requesting data from the same origin, so I'm in my own website and I create code that, hey, give me this website, give me this information from another website, that's no longer the same origin, because it's going to have, if it has a different port, if it has a different hostname, or if it has a different protocol, that's already considered a different origin. And that's the rule. Same origin policy protects other websites from being read from a JavaScript that is embedded on another origin, on another website. Okay? And if you want to do a cross-origin request, you must explicitly say that on your cross-origin resource sharing policy. This is the overall policy that explains to basically that rules on how information will be shared across websites. This is a cross-origin resource sharing. One part of the cross-origin resource sharing is the access control allow origin. Okay, so this is a response header. So if I am on my website and I'm trying to ask Wikipedia from my own website, hey, give me this text, that's already considered cross-origin. It's not the same origin, so it's called cross-origin. I'm requesting that information, and if Wikipedia's destination, so if the response header has this one here, so it says access control, allow origin, my own website, or this star, it means that I can read the information from Wikipedia, and I could actually, technically, I could display it on my website and show it, right? Just like one use case. If this is not explicitly on the response header from Wikipedia page, or this is not set, I'm not going to be allowed. This is the whole concept. So just an important thing, because many people get confused. The same origin policy is the browser's default restriction. A CORS, which stands for cross-origin resource sharing, it's the system that creates an exception. And access control allow origin is one possibility or one security configuration within this system that is on the response header, and it's used to communicate that exception. So there are 3 things. This is a policy that is by default on all browsers. This is a system that rules how browsers talk to each other. And access control allow origin, it's the actual response header that could create an exception if it's enabled, okay? So let's start with some theory. Two real websites. Let's take these two. What exactly is an origin? So as I said before, it's comprised by scheme, hostname, and port. So this is the URL. Scheme, HTTPS, hostname, and port. This is the default HTTPS port. For the Wikipedia page, the scheme would be HTTPS. Look at this. It has ES from Spanish language, okay? So hostname, this is the whole hostname. This is the port, and what is this? This is called the path. It's not part of the origin. So because the host names are different, we already conclude that they do not share the same origin. So they are cross origins. So let's actually go into the console and play with all the code and see how we can learn to put this into practice. So I am on my own website and I will start typing on the console. So this is my website. So I'm going to do window and then location, href. So what will this return? This returns my URL. What is my origin? Window, location, origin. You see here? So here I have to, this is the URL that I am currently, and this is the origin, is different. Let's say I'm going to go into about. So about, let's explain. Perfect. So let's do again. Origin. This is the origin. But now the URL is this one. You see how it's different? Let's talk about the protocol. So window, location, protocol. HTTPS. Awesome. Let's go into the port. Window, location, port. Nothing is showing up, but that doesn't mean there's no port. It's just that it's the default HTTPS port. And we can also look at the path. So window, location, path name. This is about. So all of these are different ways of inspecting your origin, your URL, the protocol, the port, the path name. I could log the same thing here. So let me. Okay, I want to allow pasting. Okay, I had to allow pasting, and then I'm going to put here this console table. This is going to display a very nicely formatted table. So this is the same thing, right? So full URL. This is the origin. This is the protocol. This is the host name. This is the port. So I just put, if there is empty, just default port. This is the path. And this is the document domain. Okay, so look at how everything is different. So the origin includes HTTPS, everything here, and the domain is just this. So now that we understand this example, let's move into checking how you can know whether two pages are the same origin, like just programmatically. So I am in my website again, and I'm gonna create a URL object, and I'm gonna create a Wikipedia Barcelona object. And then I'm going to say, check, like I'm going to put here, my website origin, Wikipedia origin. Is it the same origin? Yes or no? So I should get a false. Exactly. So it's false. It's not the same origin. This is the way you can check. Is this origin the same origin as this one? 3 equal signs. No, it's not the same. Because we know that the host name is different. The protocol might be the same. The port might be the same, but the actual host name is different. So by default, the origin is different. What happens if I try to use a fetch request? So fetch, what does fetch do? It just tries to get information from so in this case, from my own website, and then I'm going to show the text here and slice the text just to 100 characters. If it doesn't work, just show me the error. So, oh, actually, yeah, I can actually get the response from my own website. What happens if I do the same, So what happens if I do fetch and I'm going to copy this URL? What happens if I fetch a website that is not mine inside my own website? So response text, then HTML, console log, HTML slice 0 to 100 again, close this one, and then I'm gonna, if this doesn't work, show me the error, console log error. Okay, I missed something. This one. All right, so, oh, look at that. Let me actually clear this so we can see it clearly. Access to fetch at this website from origin. Remember, this is my origin, has been blocked by CORS policy. No access control allow origin header is present on the requested resource. So we actually, the GET request actually got the 200, but what happened there is that the browser blocked it. So the request actually got to Wikipedia server, but it blocked it because there is no explicit access control allow origin header on the requested resource, which is Wikipedia page. So this is the most important concept that I want you to understand. I am on my own website. I'm trying to fetch this information in this website in and display the text. It's gonna block that because the website from Wikipedia does not have my own website or the star symbol in the access control or allow origin header. If there is no access control allow origin, what happens by default is the same site or same origin policy taking over. I hope that's clear, because this is the most important part of the whole video. Just to recap on what happened, why did Chrome show 200 OK and failed to fetch? So let's go back into the script. Why did I get this, but I still got 200? Huh? This is the most important part to understand. Server results was 200 OK. The JavaScript result was failed to fetch. What this means is that JavaScript on my own website, mateoarellano.com, sends a GET request. Wikipedia returns 200 OK with HTML. The response does not grant mateoarellano.com CORS access. Chrome hides the response from JavaScript. The fetch promise rejects. So the network request succeeded. So it's actually sent to Wikipedia, but the browser did not allow JavaScript to read the cross-origin response. All right, so let that sink in. Now, the question is, who is giving CORS permission? The requested resource belongs to Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is the website that is in charge of saying in its own response headers, hey, I am allowing this website to read my own website while executing JavaScript on his website. I know it's a bit confusing, but this is what's saying I'm giving access to this website, to my website, to read information on Wikipedia website. That's the header that should be there if that would be to work. That doesn't work. It's normal. It's a good thing. That doesn't work. It's a good thing that the request was blocked. If you have a website where you want to allow everybody to read your information, you do this. Okay? And of course, you can't do that. You cannot say, I'm going to fetch this one and these are the headers. Because the header should be the response header from Wikipedia itself, not from what I'm sending, not the request headers, it's called. Not the request, it should be the response headers. This is only controlled by the other website. The good thing is that Wikipedia actually has an API. And this API is different from a normal HTML page because it allows us to get structured data. So what that means is that we can remain on, let's say, on my website, and I could run this fetch request. Let's copy this fetch request and see what happens. So I pasted here the fetch request, and I'm gonna enter, and then I get like all the information. Look at that. I'm getting the extract with the information, what's on Wikipedia, and I'm loading it from my own website. So that means I could make a request to Wikipedia's website, to Wikipedia's API, and I could actually display the text. So that means I could potentially display Wikipedia's text on my own website if I use this API that is free. Of course, free APIs normally have some type of access limits. So let's look at that. So it's the same Wikipedia origin, but it's a different CORS result. So if we compare this one from all the URL that I was showing you before, both URLs have the same origin. What is different is the path and the query parameters, and the responses have different response headers. A normal Barcelona HTML page, can JavaScript on my site read it? No. Reason? Well, the response does not grant your origin or my origin CORS access. However, Wikipedia API response, yes, it allows me to read it. The API is configured to return CORS permission for this public request. So the conclusion is that CORS permissions can differ between resources on the same server. It is not automatically one setting for every URL on a website. It could have the same origin, but still different policies, different CORS policies. Let's look at this one here. We also have this kind of request. These are different APIs that does the same, like fetch and XML, HTTP request. They do very similar things. They request things from another website. So if we can create a request, we can create a load function and an error function. So this load function will load a GET request from this Wikipedia from Barcelona, and we should also get an error, because it doesn't matter what API I use from JavaScript. What matters is that the policy will be always applied the same, no matter which API, which code I use. This is the beautiful power of modern browsers, on how they protect us. So I paste this here, and look at that. I'm getting the same. So I'm gonna clear this again, and yeah. So look at this. I'm getting access to XML HTTP request at. So this is the destination. From origin, this is my website. Has been blocked by CORS policy. No access control origin header is present on the requested resource. So we got the same result when we did the fetch request. Reading information from a website is not really blocked unless it's explicitly stated. However, a cross-origin write can send the user to another origin. This is how it's called, cross-origin write. So if I put this code here and I want to open another page, I might actually be able to do it. So I'm in my own website console, I paste this code, and look at that, I'm able to open the page from here, because this is allowed. I'm not reading anything, I'm just redirecting the user. This is exactly when you click a link to another website, right?